please tell us something about your musical education?
Well, I started writing music when I was 7, and I just studied music my whole life, and I wound up going to University of Michigan School of Music as an undergrad, and then to the Juilliard School for my master's degree and doctorate.
And yeah, what was your very first assignment as a film music composer?
My very first assignment as a film music composer was a television movie called My Brother's Wife, and it was 15 minutes of music, which nowadays would take me like a day to do or 2 days. And back then it was 3 weeks of back-breaking, agony because I was just learning how to do it. So that was my first one.
Wow. And are you still proud of that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I haven't listened to it in a very, very long time, but I think I'm still proud of it, sure.
Mm-hmm. And yes, so in general, what is inspiring you?
Well, what inspires me? I mean, everything inspires me. I mean, it's just an impossible question to answer. I mean, everything from whatever emotions are going on in any given project, to the sound of an instrument, to trying to find a new way to create processing and different timbres. I mean, it's a difficult question to answer because it's so general. What inspires you? It depends. Mm-hmm. What sort of hits you and what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think is the best thing about composing music?
I think it's a privilege. I think to be able to make a living doing what you love is the best thing. And I think it's just, as I said, remarkable to be one of the very few people who can do this and make a living and support my family and, doing what I love to do.
Mm-hmm. Great. And is there something that makes it less fun for you?
I don't think so. I think I'm fortunate that I have a lot of work, mm-hmm. and that sometimes the pressure is of the deadlines and sort of working all the time. That can be difficult. But again, if it's something that you love to do, then it's hard not to love it all. I guess when the computer doesn't work, that's frustrating. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it all goes relatively smoothly.
And yeah, do you like or enjoy writing whole themes for characters or settings, or do you try more to describe the mood of a movie?
It really depends. I mean, it depends on the project and what they're looking for. I mean, I am a melodist at heart, but a lot of times people don't want that. A lot of times they want you to kind of create an environment and stay out of the way melodically. I always try to do something melodic. I think that's my first instinct, but you're in service to the film, so I think ultimately that's kind of where you've got to be, and where you have to have your own voice and your own kind of sense of aesthetic, but you also have to listen to the people who are asking you to do this for them.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, what do you think? Is composing music an art or a craft?
I think composing music is an art. I think sometimes film music is a craft, mm-hmm. but it depends on the project.
Mm-hmm. And you, also won an Emmy for your music of the Living Edens. And yeah, that must be a great feeling, right?
I have 4 of them.
Wow.
It is a good feeling. It's a good feeling to be recognized. I'm really proud of, we have a Grammy in the house too for my classical album, Ask Your Mama, and I'm very proud of that as well. So, it's not about the awards. It's about kind of your daily practice of writing music and being pleased with what you put out into the world. I think that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, speaking of awards, you were also elected to the music branch of the Academy of Motion Pictures. What an honor. And yeah, I can imagine that made you also very proud.
I am very proud of that. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of service, but it's worth every minute of it.
Mm-hmm. And what are your job? So what have you to do?
Well, I mean, basically, as a governor, you preside over all kinds of things in the music branch, membership, Oscar eligibility, but also as a governor, you serve on different committees within the Academy. So I'm on, at least last year I was on the membership and administration committee. So we're looking for ways to make the Academy more transparent. We're looking for ways to reach our membership. We're looking for ways to create more diversity and inclusion in Hollywood. And those are our big missions, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And yeah, so about one of your projects, what can you tell us about your work on Step?
Oh, Step is a great, wonderful film. I co-composed that with Raphael Sadiq. Mm-hmm. We did the underscore as well as a song, which closes the movie and plays through the end credits, called Jump. And we're very, very proud of the work. And the film is just absolutely excellent.
Mm-hmm. And what is it about?
It's a documentary about a girls' school, high school in Baltimore, and about the senior years of these girls as they're headed from, I would say, pretty extreme poverty into college, and they do it through hard academic work and through a step team, which is a dance that's based in West African dance that is done in a lot of historically African American sororities and fraternities, and it's really exciting dance using your body, using your voices, and it's a wonderful film. It's just a wonderful film. I'm super proud of that.
Oh yeah, and yeah, it sounds interesting, and I hope it comes to Germany soon to see it. What can you tell us about your work on Taken? So, what was your approach for that?
Well, that was, a long time ago now, but Taken was an epic miniseries. It was 20 hours, and I wrote, that's very, very thematically based. There are about 8 or 9 themes for characters, for families, for aliens, for all kinds of things. And so that was, I had the themes on my desk, and that was very much something that I drew from that kind of original source material for the entire show.
And did you also have contact to Steven Spielberg?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I've met him since, which is sort of funny. I never met him on Taken. Mm-hmm. I got notes from him through his people who are working with him. But now I've met him because he's a governor at the Academy as well. So it's pretty funny that I never met him working on our project together, but I have met him in the last year.
Mm-hmm. You have also composed music for concerts and operas. What can you tell about this?
Well, it's kind of what I call my bad habit, my bad opera habit. I do, as I mentioned, we won a Grammy for my opera Ask Your Mama, which I originally did with Jesse Norman at Carnegie Hall, and that's being done again this year at the Chicago Sinfonietta. We haven't had any European performances of that yet. I worked on a children's opera based on Oscar Wilde fairy tales for Francesca Zambello, which was the Glimmerglass Opera Theater, which is a fabulous opera company here in the United States. I'm working currently on an opera about Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs. It was a tennis match that happened in 1973 that had lots and lots of sort of societal ramifications that I think were unexpected. And I'm writing a piece for the dramatic soprano Deborah Voigt, and she and I are working on something about American heroes Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton.
What is the difference between composing for an opera or a movie?
Well, there's every difference in the world, and there's no difference at all. Mm-hmm. It depends. I mean, I'm the same composer no matter what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I think obviously writing an opera music is first. Drama, the vocal aspect of it is first. So it's kind of flipped in that with film, the music is subservient to the picture. And now, as we incorporate projections and video into opera, the video is subservient to the music. But I think it's a lot of the same skills, frankly, figuring out subplot for characters, finding the way, learning about drama, knowing how to dramatically paint characters. It's the sort of a similar skill in opera as it is film scoring.
And you're also a teacher. Is it fun to watch the young composers grow?
Yes, I think so. I think it can be a lot of fun when they get what it is you're trying to show them. It can be frustrating when they don't. But I enjoy teaching. I love it. And I do a lot of it. I teach at USC in the film scoring program. I do a couple of seminars at the Conservatory and their technology program. And I'm an advisor to the Sundance and Tribeca Institutes, where I go and I work with young composers and filmmakers. And I enjoy it very much.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, we also have a few young composers who listen to us. Do you have a tip for them?
Learn as much as you can in school, develop your ears, have great ear training, but, really come prepared to becoming a film composer, because I think that is what's really essential, that your ears are there, that your musical mind is sharp, because that'll help you in the most difficult of circumstances.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, let's talk about the Alliance for Women Composers. What are the organization's missions and yours as the president of the organization?
Well, I'm no longer the president. I'm the founding president of the Alliance for Women Film Composers. Lolita Ritmanis is now the president. But 4 years ago, we founded this organization to try to help promote women and to increase visibility. As is well known, our numbers have been, people perceive that there are not a lot of women film composers, which is absolutely false. There are a lot of women film composers. We just haven't had the same kind of visibility and opportunities. So we started the Alliance to sort of try to help create those opportunities. And we have a directory that has over 200 women composers from all over the world. And we're having an event in London, actually, in later October. So I think that's a chance for us to kind of extend out to the other side of the Atlantic and try to really bring in, European composers to the Alliance and have this be an international organization.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And so you can already feel that something is changing?
I think the thing that is changing is that there's a conversation happening. At 5 years, people weren't even talking about it. And I think a lot of us felt uncomfortable talking about the sexism and limited opportunities for women 5 years ago. I think now we have research to back us up. We have a lot of shared experiences, so we're feeling a little bolder. And I think that's the first weather vane for change, and we're looking forward to more change.
Mm-hmm. And what are your wishes for the future?
Well, I want everyone to be equal. I want everyone to have exactly the same opportunities and not be bound by gender or race or any of these things. It should be an even playing field for everybody. Those are my wishes for the future. Very simple.
Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah, so more, general, what are you thinking about the modern movie industry? Do you like modern movies?
You mean, do I like movies that are being made now?
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, I like things. I don't like things. It's like any time in history. There are wonderful things being made. There are things being made that aren't wonderful, and it's a vibrant time, I think.
And yeah, what can you tell about your current and next projects?
Well, I worked this year on The Beguiled, Sofia Coppola's movie. I worked on Eleanor Coppola's Paris Can Wait, and those are both still in theaters. Steph, as you mentioned, is something I'm super excited about. I'm doing a really, really interesting movie in Mandarin about sort of the making of a movie. It's a very trippy film, and I'm super excited about that. I'm just getting ready to go downstairs and start that now. I'm working on a number of documentaries, one about the American playwright Terrence McNally, another about wonderful craftspeople in America, and there are other things on the horizon as well that I can't discuss openly right now, but, there's a lot going on, and I'm thrilled to be working.
A little thing before the end, call 5 terms, and you tell me just briefly what comes to your mind.
Okay, ready, go.
Okay. Film music.
Film music. Evolving.
Orchestra.
Yummy.
Mm-hmm. Favorite movie.
North by Northwest.
Mm-hmm. Hollywood.
On the precipice of change.
Mm-hmm. And hobbies.
Hobbies. None.
Wow.
I have hobbies. I don't know what they are. Skiing, but I haven't skied. I'm busy. I've got a young child. Mm-hmm. I've got dogs. I've got a marriage. I'm busy. I don't know that I have time for hobbies. I wish I did.
Mm-hmm. Well, one day.
One day.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yay, we got it in between barks. All right, listen, thanks so much for the interview. I've got to pop off, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you very much. And yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.